Look at that. There it
Boom.
is. Boom. Boom.
Bada
We're
bing,
live.
bada boom.
It's so close. So close yet so far. Just a couple short weeks till St. Patty's Day weekend and the day-night doubleheader, fight night extravaganza. We're going to be cheers and beers. We're going to be getting hammered. We're going to watch.
Say cheers and beers?
Yeah, that's it. We're going to be
Even
cheers
cheers
and
the same.
beers. Yeah, well, cheers, everybody. We're here. It's almost fight week. Next week, we're going to be breaking down 30-something fights, all in rapid fire, trying to get through them all in an hour and a half for you. But tonight, we only got a couple of people calling in with a couple of interviews. But it's one big fight, a title fight that y'all have been waiting to see. I've been dying to call. I've been dying to see. John Douma and Joe Penafiel both calling in tonight to talk about their upcoming matchup at Cage Titans 58 in just a few short weeks.
Yeah, I'm actually just, don't mind me, I am actually just sharing it out, as I always do. You didn't even say cheers to everybody.
I did. I just
and I'm
did.
actually I'm actually making a fight right now.
Another one? Or is this for Meg?
Fixing a fight.
Fixing a fight. Oh, okay. All right. Well, news will drop next week then, apparently.
Cage Titans. Yeah, no, I'm. We had a pull out over the weekend. I'm not going to do, but we did have a pull out over the weekend. I'm just trying to fix that fight up. So yeah. But anyways, yeah, man, it's a little less than 2 weeks. This is the crunch time. Every day it's balls out for the next 2 weeks, and yeah, I'm excited for it. It's definitely going to be an interesting event. 30 fights. Like Iggy was just here, and we were just talking about photos and stuff like that. And she's like, you're going to be weighing in 60 fighters on weigh-in day. I'm like, shit, yeah, we're weighing in 60 fighters. So then we were talking about like photos and how long it's going to take. So then like we just thought about it this way. Like we do headshots on all the fighters that way. So I said, well, how long is it going to take? So when we were doing it, we actually was like, if it took every fighter 1 minute to get their photo taken, that's an hour just doing those headshot photos. Jeez. And she's like, yeah, it doesn't take a minute. So I was like, all right, well, if it's going to take 2 minutes, you got 2 hours to do all the photos. She's like, it doesn't take 2 minutes. I'm like, she's like 5 minutes. So then I'm doing the math. I'm like, holy shit, that's like 4 or 5 hours of just taking photos. You know what I mean? Like at the weigh-ins to get ready for the next day.
Wow.
So it's like, or even like we talk about like doing, I know people are going to ask, what about like in-cage interviews? It's like, okay, well, if we do an in-cage interview and everybody does 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, it's like, all right, times 30 fights, that's a long time. That's 2 hours of interviews.
It's going to be
on top of the show. So it's like, there's not time to interview. It's like, we got to go, everything is just expanded.
It's going to be Burt Watson on steroids. We rolling the whole time, just nonstop.
Like by the time you get the G out of we rolling, it's like, next one, you're rolling too.
Yeah,
like
that's it. That's it. Fight's done. Skip on out. Bam. No, and got to get out the door clean and get ready for the all-pro night card. It's stacked up. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be a good one. So
I'm going to drink how many monsters? What's the over-under on the monsters?
Oh, man, I don't know, bro. I think
the day-night doubleheader weekend. We're going to need going through a full 12-pack.
I bike.
Hey, bud.
So, I see that we do have John Douma logged in, so we're going to get to him in a second.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind turning your phone
hey, Joe,
for me.
Joe, we can hear you, so you got to mute you to us while you talk to him.
Thanks.
Anyways, no problem. But so obviously Joe's getting Douma logged in and set up, so we'll pull him in a couple minutes. What's up, Tina Castell? I can't wait to see you either. Party, Mrs. Party. She'll be coming. And it's actually, I think it's her birthday that weekend, she said.
So it's going to be a birthday party weekend.
And it's Iggy's birthday, the day of the show, March 18th. So, I'm dreading the 18th, Tyler, as well. Come on, you're going to dread it. You're going to look forward to it. It's going to be a good time. So, anywho, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? Before we bring in Douma, what do you think? What's your overall thought on like Douma seems pretty like stone faced, like doesn't let anything bother. The party is a little bit of an agitator, as saying that nicely. What do you think?
Styles make fights. I think they're both going to take it to each other. I'm more focused on what's going to happen when the cage doors lock, because Douma's all about business. He's been dying for this fight. He wants the big name fight. He wants that belt around his waist. Former amateur Cage Titans champion, trying to go for the pro belt here. As tough as they make him pound for pound, and is dangerous to anybody over 2 divisions, a 135, 145. He could take anybody in this region.
But we'll break down the fight. I'm talking about what do you think about like the dynamic of it? Do you think Douma will engage? Do you think
Maybe.
Douma will
I mean,
just kind of be like cool, calm, collected, and not let it bother him? We'll break down the fight. We can break down the fight. I like the little fun stuff. You know?
I mean, there's only one way to tell. I mean, you know what Joe Penafiel is going to do. He's going to. I have no idea what's going to come out of his mouth. It's going to be this rivery flow of verbal whatever that the 3 different languages. He's just going to play that mental warfare game. But Douma, he like you said, stone face. He plays that mental warfare game like a stone. Just takes it on the chin. Probably not going to be deterred by it whatsoever, and it's just going to be dead set and laser focused and let his fists do the talking. So I think that's kind of what we're about to see.
Under on Douma having a little shit talk. You think he's going to throw any digs?
Maybe not. He doesn't.
Maybe we're trying
strike
to
me as the type as a shit talker whatsoever. But damn, is he fun to watch fight?
Yeah, man. Let me get the and I'll see you boys. Doomer's not smart enough to know how much danger he's in. Zach Cyril's just throwing it. Anyways, I was maybe just trying to see, like, because a lot of people have asked me that question. Like, oh, do you think party? You know, the party is unique that he brings that like directly in your face, grabbing the hat off your head type of guy. And, you know,
I don't think Douma wears a hat.
All right, so I guess that won't happen then. But yeah, I'm intrigued because it's been a while since I've personally seen Douma. Douma fought for us in 2016 when he won the title. Then he's had all his pro fights elsewhere, so like I haven't really seen much of his development firsthand as like in terms of his fight, his mentality. And it's funny because I found a picture of him. And I sent it to him when I was going to use for the poster. He's like, holy shit, I was 18 in that picture. And it's like, yeah, man, he made his Cage Titans debut at 18. And now here he is 8 years later. It's like, oh, he's like a 26-year-old man now, like a 7-year-old man.
Coming into his stride.
So it's like, I don't know what his dynamic is. So anyways, I got the update. Douma is ready. So let's bring in the man himself and we'll find out for ourselves. There he is.
What's up, guys? Always a pleasure. You hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. What's going on, John Douma? Welcome to
What's up, guys?
Titans.
What are you laying in bed?
Yeah. I had to get in a quiet room. You guys told me to be in a quiet room. This is all I got.
It's all good, man. That works. Where the magic happens in the Douma household. So Douma, you heard us. Are you gonna engage? I guess we're just gonna ask you straight out. I'm gonna ask you. Are you that type of guy you're going to engage in the mental party warfare? Or what is your mentality towards the rambunctious party? Like he tries to get in your head. He tries to talk shit. He really stayed quiet though. But like, how is that angle playing in your mind going into this fight?
I don't know. It's like, I know Joe. Like I've met him outside of us fighting. So like I know he's such a nice guy, and like I know his like kind of his game, like how he likes to get in your head. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm not really that worried about it. I work like if you come down to Triforce any day or like work in the shop that I work at, like I'm constantly getting my balls busted. So it's like a normal thing for me. You know what I mean? I'm not too concerned about it.
Douma beat Mike Kimball. I'm a Douma fan. That's from Brett Casey. That was a big fight for you back. That was like the kind of like
pretty early in your pro career.
That was my that was my 5th pro fight. I got called up, and I didn't even know it was going to be on the main card when I signed the contract for it, and then they put me on. It was cool. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, that's the stride that you hit after winning the Cage Titans amateur title. That was back in my first ever commentary. You haven't fought for Cage Titans since. No. What is the message that you have for people that might have forgot that you actually held an amateur belt at Cage Titans back in the day? Everybody that's been fighting or sitting at Memorial Hall is kind of familiar with the party over the past couple of years, but you haven't fought for Cage Titans since 2016.
Yeah, man. What do you looking back on that part, like as far as like how I fight, not much has changed. You know, I'm a lot more technical and everything now. But I still like you guys said, I still got that dog in me. Like I still just love to fight, and I love it when things get ugly, man. It's just that's where I truly like. That's when I'm happy.
I was talking about that last week. I forget. I think it was on like TikTok Tuesday with Ken. It's like you're the type of guy that like unless you're bleeding, like I feel like
Yeah,
or you get punched. Like once you stop bleeding or you get punched in the face, it's like, all right, now you awoke and now you're ready to go. So I can't
yeah.
imagine you like, but that's pretty true, right? Like once you get punched in the
It's
face
just
and then
like
you're like, yeah,
yeah, it's like a mindset you get in. You know, like it's I don't know how to explain it, man. But when you got blood running down your face and everybody's cheering for you and you're in there, like that's like some of the best times, dude.
yeah. Well, I don't. I bet you might have forgot, but I didn't forget. He ruined so many cage
Yeah.
matches when he was an amateur.
Yep.
You promised when you fought pro, you're going to fight for free. So we're ripping the
Yeah, that's
contract
why
up.
I
This
haven't
is a.
fought pro for. I was like, oh man, I hope you forgot about it. That's why I came back.
I'm ripping that contract right up
Yep.
right now. You're $0. That's it.
This is basically ADD medication. You don't forget it.
I don't forget. It's so funny because you're just a known bleeder. Like that's
Yeah.
true, right? Even in the gym.
Yeah, I mean, I think majority of my fights, even amateur, I just do that. My nose just bleeds when you look at it. It's just the way it is. I don't know, but the fans love it, so I'm used to it by
Yeah.
now. It doesn't bother me.
Well, we got a brand new cage mat for you to
Yeah, please don't bleed
paint.
too much on this because we just ordered the
Oh
new
man,
one for March 18th. It's
oh
gonna be the
man,
first
I'm
time we've
sorry,
used.
Mike. I'm sorry in advance. Maybe it'll be Joe's blood this time. Maybe it won't be my blood. Let's think positively.
I like that. I did. I mean, you've been asking for this fight. I remember running into you just at Lozon's, just whenever we would cross paths, and it feels like coming up on like a year. You've been just chirping about the party fight and just wanting it, wanting that fight, whether
Yeah,
it's him
yeah,
as an
man.
opponent or because of the run that he's been on, the belt that he has. But you've been wanting that for a while, and I don't think we've talked since it's come to fruition. But asking ye shall receive, I suppose.
Yes,
Wishes
sir.
fulfilled.
Yeah,
What drew
yeah.
what drew you to want to fight?
He's been making some noise. Um, I think he's just like an exciting guy. Like it's this. He's one of those guys that like you look forward to fighting him, and I mean, the belt aside and all that, it's just I think it'll be a fun fight. Like our styles match up. It'll be a good time. Everybody's gonna enjoy watching it, and it's just something New England needs right now.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Is there a little redemption on the line for your teammate Richie
Yeah.
Santiago?
Nah, I mean, a little bit. I guess there always is. But like I said, like I met Joe after that, and like he's so cool after the fight that like I'm not mad at him for beating Richie. You know what I mean? He puts on a really good show, but he's a very nice guy. So
Yeah.
it's not like
That's
I don't think
really
he's like mad at redemption. He just did what he had to
yeah.
do.
It's funny you say that because like we don't like to blow up the party spot, but like we like people see him and they're like, oh man, he's this or that. It's like he knows the cameras are on. That's the party
Yeah,
persona. Like, yeah, he is outgoing and a little crazy, but he's genuinely a good dude. Even like Bruno, like he got into a little scuffle with Bruno, and then they're hugging and talking afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Like we like to play that villain role, but like and play that up, but we all know the party outside as Joe Penafiel, and he is a nice guy, so it is hard. But he said to me a long time ago when he fought Pat Gilbride, he's like, I know what part of the show I am. I'm the out of stater. They're all fans of this guy because they all bought tickets to see, the hometown guy. So I got to sell the fight in a different way. And he knew that he has to be the villain because he's the out of stater. He's the guy coming to your hometown to beat you up or your home region. He knew he had to play. So he played that up. That party persona kind of, got brought up. And I think it does sell it because now people cheer him just as much as they used to boo him. I mean, were you a party fan or were you one of the booers?
it's hard for me to like. I'm not looking at it from the outside. Like I'm just looking at it as like always as like a potential next guy to fight. So like I really try not to get wrapped up in all that like fan of somebody or get excited for their career at my weight class. So I mean,
Target on
I
everybody.
kind of
That's
just
what you're
sat back
saying.
and yeah, I just sat back and watched. He always intrigued me. But I was kind of indifferent to like liking him or not liking him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just wanting to fight him, liking him as a matchup.
Exactly.
And I mean, being on that note, obviously in your weight class as a fighter, you're always having your eyes on everybody. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
you
why
have to.
wouldn't you? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So it makes a ton of sense. This fight, I know Richie's been in my ear for a while, and always like, hey, Douma wants this. I'm like, all right, listen, we'll try to pull it off. And I'm excited. Richie's your biggest supporter. I got to shout out to your teammate, Richie. And
Good man. I love Rich.
yeah, he's
Yeah,
always
yeah,
like,
he's
dude,
a
let's get
great
Douma. Let's get Douma.
dude.
What's it like training over Triforce? You guys got Delahaye fighting. You got Dion Perry fighting.
Yeah.
You got Matt Souza. We just
Dude,
had
everybody.
Will
A
Portillo,
couple of
Yep.
debuters.
Danny Munez.
Sandy.
Dude, I
Yep.
think there's 6 of you now, 6 or 7.
Yeah,
What's
and
the
then we got
Island,
guys fight. We
What was
got
that?
guys fighting the 2 days before. So like
Yep.
literally every fighter in our gym right now, except for maybe 2, has a fight coming up. So it's like perfect time to fight. Everybody's just kind of all on the same page, and we're getting ready for it around the same time. So it's nice. Like it's real intense over there.
A war zone down at Triforce right now. Everyone's gearing
Yes,
up for
sir.
the same week.
Yes,
And
sir.
there
And
must
we're
be
all
nice.
getting moody now because everybody's
You
cutting
what?
weight now. We're all starting to drop down, so everybody's moody. We all hate each other. Like it's fun.
No, and sparring's probably wrapping up, so you're moody,
All
you're
right.
hungry, and you don't even get to punch anybody.
Yeah. We got one more time to hit each other in the face, so we're all gonna make it count.
No. Well, please don't hurt anybody too much because we do have the fight next weekend. That's like when people start sparring. Like I remember famously going to Sid Yatong back in the early
Oh,
days,
yeah.
and they do a marathon like
Yeah, Monday
the
nights.
Monday before. Yeah, and
Yep.
I would go there like the week of the fight to drop off tickets or pick up medicals, whatever, and I'm like, I can't even sit here because I'm just watching these guys kill each other. 10 rounds.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude,
Yeah, that's
I'm
famous.
watching my like main event and the co-main event. I'm like, please don't have anything else.
Oh my goodness! I can imagine you just having a conniption.
Oh yeah, it was scary. But who on your team? Who's who's the guy that we should be watching for? Like on your entire team, as Triforce, this guy. Obviously, you're gonna say everybody, but like somebody that
Dude,
maybe
yeah.
Cage Titans hasn't.
It's like picking your kids. I mean, obviously, like in the pro ranks, Shane is like he's up and coming. He's such an athlete, man, and he's such a nice guy. Like he's one of the best guys I know. He's gonna make waves. Santi, like all the amateurs are so good. I can't pick one, but like you gotta just tune in to all the Triforce matches. They're all gonna be good.
Yeah. I'm interested because obviously we know Sandy. He's actually on the poster for the daytime. I'm looking forward to his fight, Dion's follow-up fight. And then you have some new names. Souza, who's making his debut with his overall debut, I'm pretty sure. And then Will,
Yeah.
who is from Texas, and he's fought once before, but he's making his
Yep.
debut with Cage Titans. So I'm intrigued
Yeah.
to see him. Yeah.
Yeah. It's super
Then
like for like early amateurs, like they give me a hard time. Like they're really legit. So just really technical guys, smart guys. So just keep an eye on them.
Yeah. Let me let's jump out of the fight game for a little while. You're an avid fisherman.
Yes, sir.
What's it like? Like is it the calmingness? What is the intrigue? Is it you grew up in the water? What walk me through that.
Yeah, I grew up in it. My dad was always taking me out, and me and my brother really got big into it. I actually like really one of the only guys I fish with is Andy Aiello, Raging Korean. He's fought for you guys a bunch of times.
Yeah.
It's not like it. The way we do it is like it just you don't think about anything else. Like even when me and Andy go out, we never talk about fighting. Like it's just it's such a good way to disconnect from all that craziness. And it's like fighting where like when you're doing it and you're out there and like we fish from the surf, so like you have to be like 100% concentrated on that. So it kind of like ties into fighting almost like that, but it makes you where nothing else matters. You can't think about anything else. And when you got a busy schedule and you're training all the time and everything hurts, like it's just a great way to get away.
It's funny you bring up Andy because Andy's the one that kind of talked to me about you guys. He shared a story. I or like you almost were like gonna die, or it was either him or you.
Yeah,
And like, cause like
yeah. We were out in
you
Cutty Hunk
touched
Island,
me on it.
and so the way we fish is we fish like we go out in the middle of the night and we put wetsuits on and we have special boots out. It's like so we'll swim out into the surf and fish off of these rocks. So me and Andy are out in Cutty Hunk, and Cutty Hunk is like a desolate island. There's nothing out there, like no barely any people. You got to walk everywhere. It's probably like midnight, and Andy goes out like probably I don't know 100 yards to the right of me, and he's trying to get out on this rock, and there's a hurricane offshore, so the waves are crazy. So I lost Andy for like I don't know how it might have been like 5 minutes, but it felt like 3 hours, and I just complete darkness, didn't know where he was. Now I'm like, we don't have our phones on us, we don't have anything. So I'm like, what do I do? Like, I'm just gonna leave without Andy now. Finally, he ended up popping up, and he's a stubborn bastard, and we actually had a pretty good night out of it, but that was worrisome.
Yeah,
I'm pictured if there's anybody that would be undeterred by getting rocked by hurricane waves rolling through in the middle of midnight and just like show up like nothing. It's Andy Aiello. Like show up like nothing happened.
Yeah,
We're panicking.
yeah,
He's like,
man.
"What's up?"
yeah. He was telling me the story, and he was like, it was one day at Lozon's, like maybe a few months ago. I had to lose my fucking rod, and he was like, but I was gonna die, so I had to like. Maybe that was a different story. Maybe I don't know.
He lost like a $1,500 rod once, and then ended up finding it the next morning. It was like a miracle. It was just he's nuts.
He said that like the place that you go. The other thing is he won't talk about where they go. Like
No,
one of the secret fishing spots, like one of the secret surfing spots from Tito from Rocket Power.
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But he told me that he found a guy that like was like, hey, everything that like the way the current goes and like this is where your rod would be. And he was like, I went to that exact spot by this like random guy told me based on the currents and all this. And he goes, it was fucking right there. It blew his mind.
Yeah.
And just like you said, it was like miracles.
Yeah.
What's the biggest fish you caught?
Biggest was 39 pounds striped bass. I've caught a mako shark and stuff, but like when we do that, we like really fish for only striped bass. So the biggest one I've caught was 39 pounds.
You cook it?
No, let it go, man. You got to think about the future.
So you're a catch and release guy.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Catch a 40-pound fish and let it go.
Yeah.
Take a picture with it?
Yeah. It's on my Instagram.
Oh, okay. I'll have to check it out. Oh, that's so fun. Yeah. So yeah, he would, dude. Andy and I one day.
It's like taking an Instagram picture of your dinner plate and then sending it back.
Andy and I one day we were into it for like an hour or something. He gets really into the fishing.
Yeah.
I was just like amazed. He loves it.
Yeah, he's very passionate. Yep.
I can see it.
Yeah,
I can see it.
Well, before we let you go, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up the fight of the ever between Brian Rossi. I granted for a lot of fans, they might not remember 7 years ago or 6 years ago, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
Bring me back to that fight. What was it like being in such a war like that? And then further expand what it taught you as an amateur about yourself as a fighter.
Yeah, I mean, obviously in that fight, first 2 rounds didn't go as planned. And I think like, so I finished it in the third. So I went back and I was a pool of blood in the end, like at the end of the second round. So I sit back on the stool and my coach is like, what do you got to lose? Like, what are you going to get punched in the face now? Like, just go out there and do what you do and stop trying to make all these things happen and just just fight and do what you do. And then I did, and ended up winning that fight. It just taught me that, like, at that point in my career, I was a high school wrestler before that, so I was going back to my old ways, and I learned to just trust in MMA and my jujitsu and my boxing, and that carried me on. I think through a lot of my professional career was just have trust in myself.
Yeah, dude, I remember that
to this
fight
day.
was that was just an insane fight. Like,
Yeah,
that was the first night commentating. I did it on like a couple hours notice. I was never going to do it again, but I still have that shirt. There's blood stains on it still to this day. Richie and
yeah.
I showed up wearing the same outfits, and then that fight happens, and it was like that 9-minute stretch of you and Brian Rossi just beating the absolute shit out of each other. The heart that
That
you
wasn't
showed
even the
to
worst.
come back.
That
that
so
wasn't the
that
worst.
one was bad. No, the Bobby Baker one, my second fight with you guys. The first punch in, I broke my orbital, and nobody knew. I didn't even know. I didn't know until 3 days later. I
That
had to
night,
get
I remember
emergency
that.
surgery. So when I
Oh,
broke my orbital and it split and it caught my eye muscle, so I couldn't move one of my eyes, but obviously the other one was moving, so everything was double vision. I was like, that one was bad, man. I was in really rough shape for that. Nobody knew, but like it was, obviously you couldn't tell, but
Wow,
that one I had to gut
dude,
out more.
I didn't
Like
know that.
I learned to get through the Rossi fight through getting through that one.
Did you know at the time? Like, were you like, dude, this is a weird amount of pain, or just adrenaline's pumping?
No, no, adrenaline just kicked in, and I didn't know for like 3 days after. So I went the doctor afterwards because I was still in like don't tell anybody you can't see mode because I was telling all the commissioners when they were, and the doctor when they came in and between the rounds was like, oh yeah, I could see fine because but I was seeing
yeah.
double. I didn't mention that.
How many fingers am I
so
holding up? 7.
so I went back and I was like kind of in a daze after when you see the doctor, um, and he looks at it and he can't tell obviously. So he's like, oh, you got to scratch cornea, go see the doctor, go see your ophthalmologist on Monday or Tuesday, whenever. I think he wasn't there on Monday, so I went Tuesday, and then he was like sent me back home. Then I went the next day, and I was like, man, this double vision isn't going away. Things like, oh, that's a big problem. Sent me to another doctor, sent me to another doctor, sent me to another doctor, who sent me to the ER. And then from there, I had to go see this special surgeon in Columbia University in New York City, like because nobody else could do the surgery. It was like a big deal. So I was dealing with that pain for like 3-4 days of just like nonstop.
Wow.
Couldn't see, just constant pain every time I moved my eye.
Still doing it.
Dude, you said at the beginning of this, got that dog in you. No shit, man. Like, that's crazy. I wish we had like Table Titans back then. We would be talking about like that's something that no one knows, man. And that would have back
Yeah,
then. So I think the moral of the story is go back and watch John Douma versus Baker. Is it on YouTube? I know the Rossi fight's on YouTube.
yeah, that one's on YouTube. I think it's still on YouTube.
Oh, so
Oh man, I
the
don't want
Baker
people to
one?
see that though. That was my second fight, dude. Everything I did was so ugly. Like looking back at it, I was just like, how did I even know? How was I even fighting back then? So don't
I
like
think that one
watch it. Don't watch it already. Like I'm not that guy anymore.
Well, I mean, it would still be fun to watch it and like kind of remind like yourself, like you're such a badass tough fighter. Back then, you might not have been the skills you are today, but you knew you had that fight in you then. And then, obviously, in the
Yeah,
past 7 years, 8 years, you've developed skills to go along with the toughness because you kind of had to have that toughness base. Or some guys are super skilled and just not they're pussies and they're not super tough. And
yeah,
you can have all the skills in the world if you're not tough.
yeah, yeah. I got the tough thing. That's
You got the tough
No doubt,
for
no
sure.
doubt about
Well,
it.
the party's supposed to call in at 8:45. If he calls in now, maybe I can get like 2 minutes just to have you guys in passing him say hello to you, or you can say hello to him if because he was supposed to call in. And then if not, we'll just let you run. And then yeah, do you have any more questions before the party comes on? Or
No, man, just stoked to have you back at Cage Titans. Stoked to have you in
yes,
this
sir. Second
fight, title fight. I know we've talked about it a couple of times face to face, and this is just one of those circle it. No doubt about it, going to be fireworks. And just another thanks for that fight with Rossi, because that was like the fight that cemented it. I never want to not be cage side for the fights again after watching that. That to this day is still one of the craziest fucking fights I've ever seen face to face.
Hey,
You retired,
really made that. Like the commentary was spot on for that, man. It's like you guys did an awesome job with like just like going back and watching the video, like listening to your excitement, like that. That really makes it awesome.
I listened back to it, and it's just fat, drunk me just yelling, trying to be louder than the crowd. I can't hear myself. I'm just like, I sound fat. I hate it, but it's great. Like honestly, it was.
But before
the passion was insane.
Before
I was
that,
just screaming.
We used to never do live commentary.
Yeah.
We used to film the fights, probably even back when you first started. We used to do DVDs. We used to film the fights, and then I would go to the video crew's house, the guy, the video director, whatever you want to call him. I would go to his house and watch the fights by myself in his office and commentate over it and pretend like I didn't know what the fuck was going on or like who win. It'd be like a week or two later, I'd go there and just watch it on TV, and I'd pretend I didn't know who won or all that, and I'd try to be excited. And I had no commentary partners; it was just me. Then that was the first show that we had live commentary. Was that fight with Ross?
And it wasn't even supposed to be Richie and I.
I remember the DVDs before that. Yeah, so that was like I want to say like fourth or fifth fight with you guys. So like all those ones before, like you had to buy the DVDs like back in the day. It was fun. It was really good old days, man.
Dude, it's crazy how far it's come. Definitely. Well, the party's on, so we're gonna let you go. We'll bring him in, let him see if he has anything for you, and then
if you got anything for him.
Hey, you have anything for him? So let's bring the party on. Oh, there he is. The party king has logged on.
What's up, Joe?
Joe, are you talking or are you muted?
No, I'm talking. Can you guys hear me good?
Yeah, we hear you loud and clear, party. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to fight. I don't know what to say. I try to be. I was gonna try to be a dick to John, and then I was like, God damn it, John was being like fucking nice and complimentary. So it was. So I was like, yeah, fucking
you're a nice guy, man.
But
I can't.
I'm like.
It's all right, man. Hey, listen, don't feel bad about talking to me. We gotta sell this fight, dude.
No, but in reality, you know what? John Douma, he's a guy out here, and he's trying to take what's mine, and I'm really trying to remind everyone in the New England area just who I am, and kind of like refresh everyone. I've even been a little bit stagnant in the last few months in my brain a little bit. I get a little bit crazy. I had like a little creative funk, I think, in my brain. But I had a good year so far. But I just want to do something. I just want to prove everyone right and everyone wrong. I'm ready to go out there and really like let it loose. You know, I've been training really hard. I train year round, and I think John's just a great opponent, and we're gonna have a hell of a fight. And I'm just ready to go to war. I'm ready to put it on the line, put my chin on the line, and I think John is as well. And I can't wait, man. It's gonna be like a fairy tale out there. I think the stars are aligning. You know, I always thought I was like I might fight John down the road. I think I saw him at like a submission grappling thing one time, and he was cool. So yeah, this is how life works out. John wants. He thinks he could beat me. I think he's underestimating me, like most of my opponents do. I think he thinks he's smarter, younger, stronger, and better at a lot of things that I think I'm going to be able to exploit. But we'll see. Come fight night, you know, the bravado is going to be there. I'm always going to be the bad guy. But, yeah, I'm here to fucking fight John, fuck him up, all that.
Good, man. Good.
John,
I fucking keep that energy, man. Nah, I listen. I feel like going on what he said. I feel like I am younger. I think I am smarter. But that's I go into every fight like that. If you don't think that you're the best guy out there, you shouldn't be fighting. So I agree with everything he says, and I think we're gonna put on a great show. I think there's not a lot of people that are willing to really dig deep like that. I think Joe is, and that's why I've been excited for this fight.
So
Yeah.
Douma, while we have Joe on, what's something that the party does that stands out to you uh, in his like fight style or fight game?
How do you like, as in like the actual fight or the promotion of the fight?
Yeah, yeah, what's something that stands out that's like, all right, he can take a punch, or like he's a great wrestler, or like something that you like when you think of this matchup, you're like, all right, I got to watch out for.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's tough, man. He's just like he's always there. He's always in your face. Like he's just constantly fighting you. That's like something you can't teach. So, I mean, I I look forward to that kind of stuff. I think he does some tricky stuff, but we've been training for it.
Party, what about you? What's something that stands out with Douma that you're looking, you're taking an extra eye out?
I just think John is. I'm not gonna knock him or anything like that. I think it's most fighters, but most fighters take fights that they think they can win or they think are easy. Whereas I think differently. I think John is a big threat. I think he knows as well as me that his way to win more than likely is going to be through submission grappling, because he feels he's the better submission grappler. I've heard him stated in different interviews. And I'm here to fucking squash all that. Like I said, everyone always thinks something. They always think they're better than me. And deep down inside, if John didn't, I mean, this is the reason why he took the fight, because he thinks he's better than me. This is why opponents and fighters fight each other. But what I'm saying is, I just think that I'm more than that, and more than meets the eye. I think once you're in there in the cage with me, it's going to be a different rhythm, and if he fucks up and it ends up being my way, which more than likely I think it is, it's going to be a long night for John Douma. But who fucking knows? But I got the luck of the Irish in that bitch. I tell you that. Never lost in there, and I don't know if I ever will. So fuck if I know. It's my mom's birthday. It's my wife's birthday weekend. So haven't fought in cage times for a year. Who knows? Maybe John will get his wish and fuck me up. I think the opposite.
Well, John, any last things for the party before we let you run?
Nah, man, it's fucking looking forward to the 18th, man. I hope you're gonna bring it. Let's make it a crazy show.
I'm ready for war, sir.
All right, man. I'll
Love
see
it.
you there.
All right. Thank you, John
Thank you,
Douma.
Douma.
And we will see you next week. And we'll chat then. So there we go, man. The party. Here we are. What's going on?
What's going on? Yeah, I'm being a little bit fucking weird tonight. What's going on with me? I'm a little fucking how's it going? How am I gonna say? I just got this weird strain of pot, and it's fucking this weird like fucking head high. So it fucking freaked out. I'm like all over the place in my brain right now. But John's a great opponent. Like I said, I ran into John a few times, and I'm not a dumbass, so I know who the top guys in the area are. And so I thought maybe one day maybe me and John will meet up. So it's gonna happen. We're gonna fucking probably have fight of the night. It is what it is. We're gonna see what the chips fly, where they fall.
Yeah, a little unconventional. You're coming in, have an opportunity to face off with them over a phone call, and nothing but respect and accolades for
I
your
know I'm a
opponent
little
going
thrown.
into this.
Listen, I'm hip to you. You fought for us so many times. This is his ploy. He acts like he's going to be cool so that at the press conference or weigh-ins, I think I'm off duty, and then he's going to pull some crazy shit like smack him or something. I'm hip to you, party.
No, yeah, you are. Yeah, with like 15 fights, like you know me, like when it comes to like that is a different vibe. At least I like to bring a different vibe, like when you're going against me. I'm gonna be a professional for the most part, but if my stupid head starts thinking that you're making fun of me or like laughing about me with your team, and I see you giggling or something like that, I'll confront you and the team and attack. I'm a retard. I'm an idiot. You know, I've ended up in jail for this numerous times. Mike's even had to bail me out once. So here we go. You know,
I was
let the
keeping
chips
that a
fall.
secret, bro. I was trying to keep that a secret, but I mean,
let 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 the chips
no, we're
fall.
boys. He doesn't even know that.
Yeah, let the chips fall where they may. March 18th, I'm really gonna bring excitement and a sense of flair. I'm not gonna be boring. I'm just looking to really go out there and work. You know, I've been working really hard to put up more volume and more stamina, and you know, it's the I still got time right now to even work, so I'm even excited about that. Wednesday, I got a hard running day, so I'm excited about everything. You know, no matter what people think with the age and all this shit, I'm in the room. I'm one of the hardest working guys next to all these guys that are in their 20s and UFC. All these guys, you know, they all respect me, and that's all I want. I want everyone's respect, and I know John respects me, but I want to beat him and have him as a feather to my cap. That's all it is. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I have to have a little bit of hate with it because you know, that's just the way I am. I have to have a little bit of hate, you know, and if I hate, it's a little bit better for me, in my opinion. So I gotta hate John Douma, even though I don't have anything against the guy, but I gotta hate the motherfucker. You know, he still thinks he's gonna beat me. And March 18th, everyone come watch. It's gonna be my night.
So speaking of the hate, I got to ask as well. Like, do you think the tide has changed within cage sides, and you're kind of a fan favorite now? How does that like? I think your first few fights, like you were getting booed and flipped off. Now people are like
or
in our
flipping,
comments,
or flipping the crowd
or
off.
you were flipping them off. Now people are like cheering and asking and like, when's the party coming back? Does that change your mentality at all? Like you're gonna probably get cheered when you walk in, and normally in the past you haven't. Has that changed how you approach or anything?
You know what? Recently, I took like a last minute fight in Idaho, and the fans were so cool. And they actually like flipped it on me. I was expecting like a very hostile crowd, and this guy was just like his fans are cool, man. The people in Idaho were cool. Big shout out to them. Everyone in Boise. It's a cool party town. I stayed at a nice hotel. It was fun. Steaks and sushi all day, but and lots of lagers and IPAs sometimes when I wanted to get messed up. But besides that, yeah, I'm gonna enjoy the cheers. And that day, it kind of freaked me out. I was kind of like caught by surprise, caught off guard that people were actually like cheering for me, because I'm only used to it maybe in Orlando, and even in Orlando, it's hostile because it's like very hostile. Florida, it's a weird place. You know, you always have haters in Florida, snakes amongst the grass. But yeah, Cage Titans has really become my UFC, my version of being able to go out there and perform and show everybody my true spirit. You know, I'm a samurai. I'm one of the last of these Ronin type of dudes that I'll show up to an event with no coach, my wife, and you know, me and Zach Searle will make a little quick game plan in the back. I'll tell him what I'm gonna do, and he says okay, and then we run with it. You know, it is what it is. You know, run and gun. That's how my life is, and
Yeah.
fighting is an extension of me, and I'm just trying to paint a certain picture, and it might be abstract or it might be different. You know, it's free flowing out there, and that's what I'm trying to paint. March 18th, come watch. It's gonna be beautiful destruction. He's gonna bring the pain. John Duma's a nonstop machine, and I'm a type of guy that loves that. So he can bring the action, but I'm gonna bring the pain. See what
There you go.
happens.
Is that a bird cage behind you?
Yeah, I don't know where I'm at like my aunt's house. I have like like people over here, and like there's makeshift bird cage that's like fucking from, I think it's from South America. I don't know. It's made
Hey,
somewhere.
so your boy
Shut
Zach
up, Abe.
Cyril. Your boy Zach
I
Cyril
love it.
wants to know, can you explain what happened backstage at Masvidal's?
Oh, I was just being a psychopath. The guy in me really got in. Yeah, and everyone knows that like Eastern European bloc type guys, like Russian dudes, they're really tough and culturally, if you do anything to them, they will fight no matter what. You know, it's like a big their honor and like disrespect and all that stuff. So I was backstage and I just really couldn't get him to budge. And like I was taunting him, I was talking shit to him a bunch of times, even when I got to the weigh-ins, and I couldn't get to him. So I was in the back, and you know me, I'm a crazy fuck. So I started talking shit to him from a distance, and I saw he had a water bottle back there, and it was like a huge one, because we just had finished weighing in. It's like a big, tall, like smart water, and I slapped it, but not thinking I knew what was gonna happen, but I was like a dumb kid that was pulling the fire alarm. I smacked the bottle and it like flew in the air and just so happened to like all land on him, and it was just like water, like like a liter all over this guy, and he's like on this kind of like platform, and he like runs and jumps at me, and there's like all these fighters from like Jackson Winks and my gym and different places and like separating us. It was a hell of a time. It was a cool time.
Yeah, dude, I remember watching
Yeah.
the video.
So yeah,
People,
They weren't ready.
they weren't ready for
They
you.
weren't ready.
I don't know. I was just being an idiot. I shouldn't have done that, and I just I just wanted to add a little bit of fire. Some mental warfare. John's a great guy. I think he's mentally tough, but no matter what, March 18th, March when I see him, he's gonna know it's all business. You know, I think I'm an A+ fighter and he's a B+ fighter. Maybe I'm not at the big show right now, but I can make any show fucking pop. You put me in there with anyone. I got a good chin, and I'm fun to watch. I put a lot of passion in it, and I put people at the edge of their seats. Me and my hands down style, and I'm gonna continue to be different and continue to be high flying and try to like really just do it my way. Sometimes people try to stay conventional on, that's great. Sometimes I have to stay fundamentally sound, but I'm trying to be different. I'm trying to be weird. I don't want to be like everyone. I just want to do everything in a different way and show everyone a different type of violence where it's a little funny, it's a little bit quirky, you know dangerous, some shit talking there, a little Jackie Chan.
Well,
Get kicked in
Tina's
the
blown
face,
up your
blow
spot.
kisses.
Tina's blown up your spot. She said, "Watch out, he's definitely going to do something." And
Yeah,
I'm not
probably.
all for that.
Probably.
You
I'm
got me
really
on
excited.
Bruno.
Huh?
Yeah, I said you caught me on Bruno because I'm like, oh, Bruno's kids
Oh,
here. You were super respectful, and then I'm like, I think I'm cool, and then bam, I'm on edge, man. I got you. I'm watching you. I'm watching you.
yeah.
We
Definitely.
got security guard Big Mike De Silva on it.
Anyways, well, party. It's always fun having you, man. We're super stoked to have you back up. We've talked over the last year constantly, and I'm excited that we finally get you back. Give us a hint. The party walkout is always memorable. Can you hint anybody on what you're bringing this time?
I really don't know, man. I'm actually at this moment. I have like this really cool intro. I'm trying to get kind of like transitioned into a poppy song, or maybe it's gonna be like a really cool hip hop song, a party song. Maybe I might do a '90s classic after I drop the beat, but who knows? I might switch it up last second. I might do some country. I'm really digging some country right now. Basically, just one or two artists. I'm not gonna say because then it's gonna give it out. Everyone knows these guys are really good, so don't even mention it. But I always like country too, man. I like to represent everyone because I think everyone's there for a good time, and like it's a family friendly event. And I'm not gonna shit on anyone's music or anything, but sometimes a lot of us adults like some crazy dark shit, like gun gun gun, kill kill kill. And I'm like a little. Sometimes I like to put something else to the show, bring a little bit of a element of surprise. Sometimes I'll drop country. Who knows? Maybe disco. I don't fucking know.
I'm excited for it. We do have a question from Andrew Valdina. I don't even feel that this isn't my area, so I'll let Andy read it.
Question for Joe: blunts or joints, and blondes or brunettes?
Joints and brunettes because my wife's a brunette and I like joints better. I used to do blunts when I was like a younger kid. I used to roll blunts like in high school and stuff like that. But I started off rolling joints in middle school, and then that's mostly what I do. But now that I'm like I'm getting to be this in my mid 30s. I've been doing one hitters. I'm a big one hitter. I'm at the house or like in my car. I have like a one hitter. So it's not too much, but it's enough for me to feel good, and go into any setting and not stink.
Yeah, you don't got to whole joint on the car on the way to the gym anymore. One hitter, that's all it takes.
All right. And Tina's
Yeah.
asking me if I'm going to have any music for you. I don't have any. I don't have any music. I mean, the Ship It Up to Boston, I still think was classic.
And then right when it
Yeah,
ends, Paradise City.
you love that one. Who knows, man? I was looking at different Boston songs, but there's like the only bands from Boston are like, the biggest ones are like Aerosmith, the band called Boston. There's a few other ones, maybe Green Day, but I don't know.
Green Day's not from Boston.
I mean,
I don't think Green Day's from
Aerosmith
Boston.
wouldn't be cool. Like
Aerosmith's from Boston.
that would be a good one. They're from Marshfield too. Like they're
Godsmack's
only
from
like
Boston.
20 minutes from Boston.
Bunch
It is
from
St.
Boston.
Patty's Day weekend. It's Tina's birthday. You should let Tina pick.
No, I don't know. She always has a different opinion. We have different music selections sometimes.
I tell you right now,
Dropkick Murphys on St. Patty's Day weekend.
Unannounced, like prepared. This is on my Pandora, and I think of you every time.
Yep.
This is when I want to feel good about myself. I already have it in my search. It's right here. It's like my third song played.
I don't understand.
This is still my favorite song.
I don't understand a single word of it. I'll do it.
Dude, that song.
It's about doing drugs, though, I think.
Yeah,
it's about doing drugs. It's about doing beans at the club. yeah. Peppers are beans. Beans, like fucking beans are what's it called? Ecstasy. Back in the day, that's what you used to call ecstasy in the 2000s.
Okay.
But in Spanish, they call it pepas. But now it might not be ecstasy. It might be pepas. Might mean something else. I think that refers to like pills, like pill popping. So whatever the fuck young kids are doing, I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
Like
I just like the song. I like the song. I'll take the Michelob Ultra.
and a joint.
And one hitter.
Yeah.
Actually, one of my favorite.
Yeah. I don't know about the peppers.
Cyril said his favorite Cage Titans moment was when your pants were pulled down for half of a round and your ass was out there. I think another fun moment.
Of course, that's Cyril's favorite moment.
It is. Another fun moment for me was when you did a shoey with the Cage Titans IPA.
Threw up.
And I thought you were going to throw up afterwards.
Oh yeah, I have bad gag reflex too, man. I don't know. You know what? Like I said, listen, Cage Titans is really like I've gone to other events, like the one I fought in Idaho and in Michigan, and they were like promoting me as a New England guy. So that's how much love and like, like I don't know, I kind of became like a symbiote from New England, like some weird mutant. Like byproduct where I'm the Florida cousin that everyone keeps in the dungeon. They're like, Joe comes in the summer every once in a while and like wreaks some havoc, but we send his ass back to Florida. He's stupid, but he's good for a few shows. But
we only deal with him in little doses.
Yeah, I know. I'm kidding, but I love New England really, and like I said, it's I don't know. I have a passion for this shit, and for some reason, I've been able to perform really well. and under the Cage Titans banner, and it's a privilege, and it's a big thing to me. I really think guys like not to hate on anyone, but guys like Douma and maybe a few other guys hold prestige differently for these other titles for these other organizations, when at the same time maybe these other organizations that are big in the Northeast were also champions in at Cage Titans. So it's like, what the fuck is the difference? You get what I mean? It's like, so you want another belt in another organization. So you think, I don't know. I just think I feel like I represent Cage Titans, and its motto, and it's kind of like it's, I don't know. I feel like I'm like a kind spirit with Cage Titans. You know what I mean? There's no other promotion I would rather fight for regionally for the most part. You know what I mean? It's like the only reason I only fight there is just to get different fights. You know, with different looks and different guys. You know, I'm only fighting the top guys. Like I said, I really think John's taking a fight like most fighters because they think they can win, because they think they're better in some areas. Where me, I'm more. I know John's good, and I'm not to say, oh my God, John's gonna beat. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying that I think John is a good fighter, and I recognize the threats, and I embrace that, and in a different type of way, where like full arms, like hug. I hug death. You know what I mean? I don't care about these I don't know, like I don't care that's not that I don't care what happens out there. It's just I'm loose out there, and I just don't give a shit. I'm going out there, and I want to win, and I know what it takes, and it takes me being, you know, this really like at the edge of like of craziness, and I'm ready to do that. You know, John's gonna bring the best out of me because I think he has a high workload pace and grit and toughness, where I do too. And I think we're going to find out who's tougher, but I also think I'm smarter. And we'll see whose game plan works better. But like I said,
Who's
I'm
more?
an A+ fighter, and he's a B+ fighter, and it is what it is.
You said you're smarter, you're better, this, that, and the other thing. Who's handsomer?
Definitely me. John's a good looking guy. Someone told me he looks like an Italian mob like guy from like Capone's era. Like my friend was like, he looked like he might have could belong in like some like 1920s fucking type of thing. I'm like, he's a tough guy, man. Like I give a lot of respect to John. But yeah, I'm probably better looking. I don't know. If I was like 6 foot tall, you know. But I'm a married man. God damn it. I stand by my I stand by my what's it called? By the covenant I made and all that shit. So I'm not fucking
Well,
around.
Barty, it's honestly, like, it's so nice to hear you say those things, because for
Mm-hmm.
us, you know, we're about that moment's yours. And what you do at that moment, you're doing something that not everybody gets to do. And you really embrace that every time you fight. From the first time you fought for us, like, and I tell guys, like, when people would say something, oh, well, the party, it's like, listen, we give you all the same stage. What you do with that moment is on you. And you really take every opportunity that's put in front of you and make it a moment, make it shine. You know, going back a few times, like, man, you guys really promote the party a lot. It's like, he makes it easy for us. He does crazy shit. He wins fights. He does everything that we promote. Like these viral moments that you've done that. Every other fighter, if you're listening, you can be the party too if you want to be. You know, you have the same stage, you have the same platform, and what you do at your moment. Own the moment, make it your own. You champion that. You've done so tremendous with it. So I appreciate you.
Appreciate you. No, I appreciate you, and I think fighters need to recognize their platform. And I think, like I said, fighters think that the promotions make the fights. I think it's you have to be a willing and able dance partner, and you have to be able to be creative and not be boring. When you're at work, when I was at work working at the restaurant, I'd be bored. I'd be thinking of ideas of how to like cut videos and stuff for me jogging and post little clips here and there to promote the fights. And you got to do that, you know, because as a professional, if you're ever going to get to a high level and you want to be this Conor McGregor guy, or you know, whoever like John Jones, you're inevitably have to do all this media, and you have to be good at everything unless you want to be a regular guy making, subpar money. So, I think everyone needs to take their opportunities and run with it. Do what you want to do. Be a nice guy, but be a fun nice guy. Talk about whatever the fuck you want to talk about.
There you go. Well, yeah, we had this conversation many times, Mike. Who is more important? Yeah, you definitely embrace it, and I think that you can be such a good mentor and a good experience. I mean, a model for other fighters on their way up. Like, it's not just what you do inside the cage; it's the entire package as a
It's
fighter.
all in the game.
And like even cage signs, we live by that. We're not just a company who sets up a cage on March 18th and that's all we are. It's everything surrounding it, in social media, talking on the microphone, telling the stories of fights. Like, we could bring you on and Douma on and just be like, cool, we got a 7-3 fighting a 10-5. Be excited, guys. No, we want you to get the word out there. We want people to be invested in why they should want to see this fight. You do a good job.
Oh yeah, well, I think Cage Titans, like I said, is top of the line, and I think we all do a good job at promoting the event. And Cage Titans runs a tight ship. When you're there, there's security, there's cops, medics, fire people, bartender, chicks with fucking beer, ring girls. There's everything you could think of. The doctors are there. It's a full show. It's done the right way. Everyone gets their own warm up area in the at the hall at the top. It's huge. It's I don't know. It has a certain smell to it. I love it, man, and I love how it sounds more than anything. It's like it has like I don't know, like a hollowing, like when someone's getting slammed or allowed something happens, you can hear it. It's like a shot. I love that about the hall, so I'm always gonna enjoy that.
Well, we enjoy having you there, man. I'm so excited. We'll see. Actually, after we get off the phone, make sure let's connect. We got to get your flights going. So after we get off,
Okay.
let's get that straightened out, and we'll see you next week to party. Thank you so much as always. We can't wait to see you next week and defending that title against John Douma.
Okay, man. Thank you so much. I will
Thank
see
you.
New England. Oh no, thank you. Hey Andy, one of the best behind the scenes stories is I don't know what fight it was. It might have been the Pat Gilbride fight, and I think it was like the first time I met Andy, and he was sitting at the bar at Cancun, which is the restaurant in front of the hotel where most of the fighters stay. And I came up to him and we were having yeah, we were having a beer, and he was like, "Are you really gonna have a beer?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna fucking have a beer, Andy. Let's have a beer, man. Let's relax." So it's yeah.
Yeah,
I
that was
love I
good.
love
That's
cage signs, man.
Well, I got a new hotel for you this show with a bunch of new restaurants. So you're going to have some new areas to explore and give the whole full party experience. So,
Thank you. Fuck yeah. Hell yeah.
all right,
All
brother.
right, thank you guys so much. Okay.
Thank you.
Later.
Take care, Joe.
I'm
Ciao.
excited, man. Ciao, Bella. Yeah, dude,
I'm
that fight's going to be bananas. I mean, party's just such a good vibe. And it's funny to hear like Douma say it's like, we all know he's a good guy. Like, he played up the villain. Now he's kind of like,
He's settling in. Everybody
yeah.
knows who he is. It's all good now. Now it's all business, and people know that they're exciting fighters, and they're gonna go in and try to take each other's heads off, and we're gonna be entertained.
Definitely very insane. There's so many good stories at the party, and I really have had that conversation a lot of times. People are like, oh, well, this, that, and it's something common that a lot of fighters will look at other fighters that have like Valdina's another one. Like, oh man, you post a lot about Valdina. It's like we post what they give us. Like as you're a fighter, that moment's yours. How much you let us in is how much we can share about you. So, like, when you see a guy, like a lot of fighters be like, oh, you posted about Valdina. It's like, dude, he posts his training videos every day. He posts pictures. He tags us, and we reshare his stuff. So, like, the party, we reshare his stuff. And he's had a lot of viral moments that he's had over the course of his career. Like, everybody could have wore a cowboy hat and came out to that country song. And every single fighter could have done that same exact thing. But he did it. So, of course, course we're going to share. Like even like moments like with the remember when he had the second walkout, he jumped the cage. These are all things that fighters can be doing. Blowing the kiss in the middle after getting head kicked. These are all moments that you can
Flipping
create.
everyone off.
Yeah. So like, I think he's a great example. And he's also a great example. Like some fighters like, oh, I don't have, fans, or they don't think they're fans. It's like you can create fans every time you walk out. You might sell 50 tickets, but you have the opportunity to make so many more fans by your interactions and the way you are performing on fight night and leading up to it. Like somebody might have watched John Doomer talking today, might be like, holy shit, I'm a fisherman. Oh, he's a fisherman. Cool. Now I want to see him. And now they might go to his page and be like, oh, I want to go see that striped 39-pound striped thing. And now they're searching him. Now they're liking your page, and you're growing your fan base and your audience. And you have to take those moments and do it. I know when I was fighting, I used to hear a lot of times in the gym, like, no one wants to hear from me. And they think it's kind of like pretentious to post about themselves and things of that nature. But it's like the whole point of social media. People want to follow and people want to be a part of the journey and see the journey and get witness to all those things. So like, yeah, you might be like, no one wants to see it, but trust me, they do. And in our business, yes, fighting is a huge part of it. You need to be a good fighter, but it's also an entertainment business, and you want people to want to see you. The best thing is like you want them to feel some sort of way, not indifferent. Either they're excited to see you or they're excited to see you get your ass kicked. You want them to feel something. You want to evoke emotion when you're getting in there and competing to gain notoriety. Like Tito Ortiz, he used to talk about it. It's like people hated him, but then there was also people that loved him. No one, when he walked to the cage, was like, yeah, this guy's fighting. They didn't care. Mm-hmm. They cared one way or the other. Chael Sonnen is another example. He talks about it a lot.
Emotional investment into the fight, into the sport, something that taps into everybody's reptilian primal brain. Now we're looking to find out who the people are behind the actual fighter in the cage. There's a lot more to it. We're all a little tapped. Every single one of us that steps into a cage to willingly engage in legal attempted murder, we're all a little off in the head in one way, shape, or form, one way or another.
I would disagree.
We're all a little off.
I think
if you're willing to go into it, lock yourself into a cage and beat someone up and get beat up, it's not a bad thing. Being a little off, it's a good thing. I mean it with the utmost respect.
It's funny because I used to always say that too.
There's a reason why people are enamored by the media that surrounds this stuff.
I don't know. I look at it as like a competition, and some people just like the competition aspect, and they're not off. Like they're not like crazy, but they're just like they like the competition element, and it's a competition at its purest form. Like you do team sports, and you're reliant on other people, and some people do enjoy picking up the whole team around them. But in a sport like this, it's a singular sport. Like it's all on you. It is raw. Like when that door closes, that is the ultimate form of competition. There's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to do this. There's nowhere to do any of that stuff. I don't know. That's what I like.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I agree with you. It's competitive and whatnot, but go in and fight.
Brett Casey, feed me Mario. Feed me Mario instead. He's going to crotch sniff all night. I'm not going to say what else he said, but yeah, that's Brett Casey. His messaging. Yeah, so he's looking to get a fight. Anyways, we did have Phil Locigno scheduled for tonight. He had his last sparring session, so the times got a little mixed up. So what we were able to do is we were able to catch up with him earlier, and we recorded an interview with him from earlier. So we're going to play that for you guys now so you can check it out. For me and Andy,
we got to bounce.
We're done for the night. So stay tuned. We're gonna pull that video up. But cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
And we will see you tomorrow, TikTok Tuesday. Ken and I are going to be talking about Peter Barrett and Mokanani, the breakdown. So we're going to be doing that tomorrow. And then next Monday is fight week. And we're going to go break down all 30 fights.
All of them. It's going to be a long show. So tune in next week. Thank you, as always, for checking in. We're going to
leave you with Phil Locigno.
Every single one. Check out Bambino. And cheers next week. We'll see you.
All right, here we go.
I'm excited to welcome Phil Locigno Jr. to the Table Titans podcast. Phil is an amateur mixed martial arts training out of the renowned Sitang Gym in Somerville, Mass. He's also cross-training with BTT and the guys over at 617 Fight Sports Jiu-Jitsu. Welcome to the podcast, Phil.
Hey,
Phil.
how you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right, man. Let's start off with how your winter's been going uh, out on the job site. You know, I know
Oh,
you
it's
work
been
with
good.
Union 22, and you guys have been busy. So, what are you doing specifically right now?
Well, unfortunately, right now I'm laid off, so it's a double-sided coin. I get to train a little bit more, not make as much money, but I'm still doing what I love to do every day, which is train right, eat right, and yeah, just follow my passion. Not so much my pension right now, but we'll get there soon enough.
All right, all right. What was the last big project you guys were working on? Was it over at the high school, or has that
Oh,
project
there's
been
a ton
done
of
for a
big
little while?
projects. There's a ton of them, but the last one I was on was right in front of trying to think of right in front of the orange line. Now I'm drawing a blank right now. Right where the turnpike is.
Yep.
There's a big job site over there. I was there. Yeah, I was there for a little bit doing concrete for GNC, which is good because it's kind of like a trained conditioning worker. You just picking things up and putting them down, which is what I do from my 9 to 5 and my 5 to 9.
Yeah. Are you
Oh
getting in
yeah,
there?
oh
A
yeah.
couple sessions a day these days while you're on the layoff.
Yeah, so right now, since I have the free time, I'm training in the morning time with 617 Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, just getting some extra MMA work in with some guys who are looking to make their debut as well. A couple of my teammates been rolling through, getting some extra work. So, yeah, I've been doing that. And then at nighttime, depending on what day it is, I'll work my striking over at Sit Your Tong. And then I'll work even more grappling over at Brazilian Top Team in Everett, which is nice because all three of those gyms are within a 3 mile radius. So it's pretty convenient for me, and I'm taking advantage of it.
Is there a group of guys that go around with you from Siatong that train over there as well? I think I've heard Brazilian Top Team mentioned quite a few times from previous guests. So you
Yes.
seeing a lot of
So,
kind of the regular fighters that we see in the cage over
yeah,
there?
actually, my teammate Aaron, aka Earthquake, he's been going to Brazilian Top Team for jiu-jitsu work. Also, when he's has time off from his day job, I'll come over to 617 in the mornings as well and get some extra MMA work. And then also we have Leo the Hand, who has been quite an exciting fighter. He's also doing the same thing. BTT guy, go over to 617, get some extra work in. And then we have Matt Martinez. Yeah, so we got a bunch of guys rolling in and out, always getting some extra work in.
You guys carpool? Save a little gas? Save a little toll money?
Unfortunately, no. We should though, because we all live near each other. But unfortunately, we don't.
Yeah. So where are you in relation to Plymouth? If you don't mind me asking, if you don't
Oh
want to
no,
say
no.
where you live, but you living up near Somerville? You live near Siatong?
Yeah, I live in East Boston, Jeffreys Point, right on the waterfront. I mean, it's a great neighborhood. It just sucks to find parking at 10 o'clock at night because it's a main street. But
Sure.
give and take. It's worth it because all my gyms are, like I said, within a 3 mile radius. So I take advantage of that quite often, especially when I'm not working.
Right. Right. So let's see. This is your fifth fight for us at Cage Titans, and
This
you've
will be my
only
fourth.
this will be your fourth, and
Yes,
this,
fourth amateur bout.
and this is you've only fought for Cage Titans. Um,
Only fought the Cage Titans, and have only as competition wise, one on one, have done mixed martial arts.
really?
Yeah, got thrown into the fire just to see if I'd come out alive, and I came out better than I was before. And that's when
Sure.
I knew this was for me. And I think I mentioned it in one of my last interviews. It's the greatest high, honestly. That adrenaline rush, the crowd, the walkouts, getting your hands wrapped, just the whole atmosphere. Like even though I'm technically an amateur, I feel like a pro every time I go out there. Just the way they treat us, the experience, and I've fallen in love with just the process in general.
Yeah,
So I'm
that's
very grateful
amazing.
for these things.
I definitely share a lot of those sentiments. I fought in a few different venues, but I'd have to say my favorite venue to watch fights and to have fought in a cage is Plymouth Memorial Hall. There's
Oh,
nothing
without a
like
doubt,
having,
without a doubt.
being
The
down at
stadium
the bottom of
scene, the
that.
production, team, everything, it's phenomenal. I've been to a couple of regional shows. I won't say any names because I don't want to put anyone else down. But I just feel like as far as cage signs, it almost doesn't even seem regional. Just with everything, everything's all set up.
Yeah, yeah. Mike's always striving for that, um, that professional look. He really wants the fighters that come up through that organization to have as close to the experience as you would get with the UFC, so that when you have that opportunity to go, it's not a shock. You know, I'm sure that, with having people like Peter Barrett on your team, and who have had that experience, Andy Cote, who's coached people up to that point, Crew Mark being part of the UFC. I'm sure that from your standpoint, it matches that those goals have been accomplished. Mike's, vision for giving people the most realistic view of what it is to be at that top level event, whether it's the venue itself or the experience being up in the locker room, where everything's laid out, coming down to the cage, you're making your entrance, and the way that you're handled after the fights. So,
100%. Couldn't agree anymore.
What has been your focus for the last, I don't know, couple months since you've been ready to get back in there? Is it more of your ground game? It sounds like you're training extra with your jiu-jitsu if you're going to 617 and you're going to BTT. Yeah.
Yeah, just getting all aspects, because I did come from a boxing background. That was my first technically traditional martial art. Never unfortunately competed, just because, just life in general just held me back, and more so myself. And then, yeah, I jumped into MMA, with the lack of the ground experience, which unfortunately has been kind of the reason why I've lost those close decisions, was the ground. So I just want to be sharp everywhere, just well balanced on the ground, the wrestling, the striking, just so when it comes to any aspect of the fight, I already know what to do. Hence my last fight, I want to give a shout out to Mr. Jefferson. That dude is a fucking dog, excuse my language. But, he just taught me another flaw in my game that I need to work on. And, that's the whole point of amateurs, is to find out what you're lacking. So when you do reach the professional scene, you already plug those holes in, so no one can, nullify those against you. So, like, to answer your question short term, I've been practicing everything.
To be expected. As an amateur, that's what your coaches want to hear you saying, and that's what you should focus on, I believe, firmly, having, been on multiple sides of this sport, having coached people, having gotten in there myself, and having been, a spectator watching for, God, like going on 14 or 15 years now, which, there's people who definitely have been watching longer than that, but I get to watch from a pretty unique perspective. I've probably seen in the order of 2,500, maybe 3,000 matches, individual matches that I've filmed, and it's amazing to see the step up that occurs through somebody's amateur career. Going into your first fight, not having a solid ground game. You didn't wrestle in high school or anything like that? No college wrestling or anything like that?
No, I tried it out in middle school, but my first love was football. So I just feel like when I made the transition into MMA, into jiu-jitsu, it kind of, it related, because you needed that gritty, you needed that toughness. So it was just natural. And to be honest, I've kind of fell in love with the ground game and just the wrestling, just from football. But obviously my forte will always be these.
And man, they are scary when they're swinging around. I mean, watching your fights back today, because I want to make sure that I'm respectful of both you and your opponent, and know what I'm looking at and know who I'm speaking to. Yeah, man, heavy hands. Look like any one of those punches that you were throwing, even in your first fight, if they connected clean, somebody's going to sleep. in a big way.
Absolutely. That's the goal.
So
But that's why, they used that against me and took me to the ground because, sometimes I'd be out of position, I'd be overthrown, thrown like a traditional boxer, which leaves my legs exposed, which leads to the takedown. And in amateur rounds, you only got 3 minutes to work. So if someone's on top of you, regardless of damage or not, they're controlling position and they're winning points. So I've learned from that, and this will definitely show not just from this fight, but just from here to the end of my career.
sure.
Every fight I've had, win or loss, is a learning experience. So
So are
I've
you
learned quite a lot.
are you comfortable in this weight class? Is this a place that you're gonna stay? Is it pretty much
Oh yeah,
145?
100%. Yeah, I mean maybe in the future when I do turn pro, maybe we could try, a catch weight at 140, see how my body feels, and if that feels right, go to 135. But 145, I make it pretty easily because I eat clean year round. That's another lesson I've learned. There is no such thing as out of camp.
Sure.
You're done with your fight. Yeah, you eat like shit for a week, but I just find there's no point because it's like that glass sand thing. Well, time's constantly ticking, and I don't have time to waste. So everything I put in my body is calculated. It's to fuel me. It's not for enjoyment. I mean, my cheat meal is just more extra food than normally. So when I do go into quote unquote fight camp, I just cut down the calories a little bit and just drink more water. So I'm doing it the right way. So 45 is never an issue for me.
Right on, right on. Yeah, you look comfortable there. That's why I had to ask, because like sometimes people are fighting in weight class, and you know maybe they picture themselves somewhere else, but their coach is like, let's go here, see how you do. You've got enough fights under your belt at this point, I think, where if you needed to make that choice to move up or down, you'd probably be making it. So, but you think this is your home for the amateur ranks, and
100%.
maybe you'll test it out when you go pro.
Yeah,
Up and
I
down a little bit.
mean, never say never. I mean, who
Sure.
knows? Maybe in the future I'll take an amateur fight at 55, so I don't have to cut any weight. So
Is
I
that where
don't
you
know. I don't
walk?
count on anything. I normally walk like normally I'm like in the low mid 60s, you know, give or take. But then once I start to really dial in, that's when the weight just falls off, and now I'm just walking in the mid 50s.
Right on, man. Right on. Uh, how's your family and your friends been supporting you as you've gotten into the sport more and you're fighting often? I mean, it's impressive to see. You started in 2001. You've already got, going into your fourth fight. That's 2 years.
11 months.
Oh,
It's been since my first, 11 and some change since my first bout.
yeah.
But
So,
yeah, they're very supportive, and my family, my mother and father, I couldn't ask for any more support because when I am laid off, they do help me out a lot, and I'll never forget that. So when I walk in that cage, it's not just me walking in there; it's them. Also, another part of my family is my team, is Sit Your Tongue Boston. I've grown to really love that place like a second home. If something happened like an emergency and I can't go, it feels weird not being here. Like even when I didn't have a fight booked, in the last Cage Titans card January, I was still there helping guys out because I just feel the need. I need to be here. It's a family, It doesn't matter if I'm getting ready for a fight. I have to help the next one get ready, and that's what martial arts has really taught me in life. It's not always just about your growth, because someone else's growth could also help your growth as well. So it's like the old saying to your teammate: if you don't get better, then I don't get better.
yeah. Steel sharpens steel. It's a mentality.
Exactly.
Right on. So two teammates are fighting with Cage Titans on this next card. Are you guys
Yes,
all on
sir.
the day card?
Me and Neil, another one of my teammates who's also an amateur. He's been killing it in the 125 division. That kid is a monster. I tell him all the time, even though he walks around at up in the 130s, like up there, he is hard to hold down. I've held down like 200 pounds as easy than I've held him down. That kid is good. He's very good. He'll be fighting on the day card. And then obviously, Slippery Pete, he'll be on the night.
He's a night card.
Aaron Earthquake's on the night, and Jerry aka Captain America, Mr. Twister. He'll be on the night as well. Oh, and I can't forget Tommy Davis Jr. He'll also be fighting at the night as well.
Wow, man, full contingent of Titan guys coming out.
Yeah,
for this.
we're rolling heavy.
Oh, right on, man. I really I appreciate you taking the time out of your day and talking to me. The fans are going to love it tonight. You know, as they watch this back show, hopefully you'll see, some positive comments and, some real love and support from the local people down in Plymouth who want to see you guys come down and do well against your opponents. Before I let you go, is there anybody you'd like to thank? Are there any words for your opponent that you'd, like him to be thinking about as you get ready?
As far as I'd like to thank my team for always being with me no matter what happens in that cage. I'd like to thank my family for always supporting me. And as far as my opponent, I hope you're ready.
All right, man. I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate you.
And you have a great rest of your day, and have a great session tonight. Hope everything goes well.
You too, brother. Also, thank you again for accommodating your time to get this interview done. Appreciate it.
No problem. Take care.
You too, brother.